All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about some news that was breaking earlier today. Keith Idec of Boxing Scene is reporting that the next fight with Jaron Ennis will put him in position to be the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence Jr. Let's talk about that in this video. Right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Thank you very much again for watching another video. If you are subscribed, thank you for your support. If you are not subscribed, please make sure that you hit the bell icon so that you can hit subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure that you can be notified of all the videos that we do on the channel. And also, please support our sponsor over there at busr.ag/Fanon for the Super Bowl. If you get wager on the Super Bowl at busr.ag/Fanon, use the promotional code Fanon, you will get $10 for every touchdown that is scored in the Super Bowl. So make sure you guys take advantage of that perk that you get for for following this channel. All right, man. So it looks like Jaron Ennis is inching all the more close to a fight for a world championship. And that may take place. He may actually solidify that in April. I do believe the date is April 9th on the undercard of ERICSON Lubin versus FUNDORA. Keith Idec is reporting that he is likely to be on the card and fight Custio Clayton. Now, if you're familiar with what's going on with if you're not familiar, let me tell you why that is significant. The IBF, the two highest rating people in the IBF are Jaron Ennis and Custio Clayton at the number 3 and at the number 4 positions for the IBF. Right now, the number 1 position and the number 2 position with the IBF is vacant. As of today, which is February 10th, they have not released the ratings for the end of January. So we don't know if those are going to be adjusted in this next ranking. However, if provided they fight each other on April 9th, that would be currently the 2 highest rating guys in the IBF fighting one another. And that should put Jaron Ennis in the position to be the IBF mandatory for Errol Spence Jr. Now, the reason why that is significant, a lot of times people are mandatories and they don't get shots. The IBF mandatory is the next fight up, the next mandatory fight up for Errol Spence Jr. If he wins the WBA belt against Yordenis Ugas, he will be the WBA super champion, and the WBA super champion doesn't have mandatories unless there's some specific circumstance that comes up. However, there is one in that regard, and that would be the fight between the winner of the fight between Butiev and Stanosis. So there's a chance that the Butiev and Stanosis may get the WBA order quicker than the IBF, but not quicker than the but definitely not ahead of the WBC mandatory, which was satisfied, I do believe satisfied when Errol Spence Jr. fought Danny Garcia. So Jaron Ennis is most definitely closing in on this championship opportunity, and one that is very likely to be made if he becomes the mandatory, because Errol Spence Jr. is not the type of dude to be ducking anybody, and has already stated that he would fight, he down the road would fight Jaron Ennis. They both exchanged messages, joked with each other on the phone. So Errol Spence Jr. let him know that his time will come to get that shot. There's also the option, obviously, of Jaron Ennis being ranked by the WBO, because Jaron Ennis right now is ranked in the top 3. I do believe in the top 3, maybe the 4th and 1, but the top 3, definitely the top 5 in every sanctioning body. Him along with Virgil Ortiz. So the time is ticking, and that young man is going to be there. And according to everybody that's talking about Jaron Ennis, he may not be as ready as he could be, if he waited, another year or whatever and had, fights against guys like Danny Garcia, fights maybe against, Jamal James, other top level welterweights, no, maybe, Butiev, Stanosis. However, he's more ready for a fight with the champions, Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, and could be Yordenis Ugas if Yordenis Ugas was able to pull that fight off. For the WBA belt, he's as ready as anybody else is in that division, with the possible exception of Keith Thurman, right? But I do agree with what some people say that, yeah, it would be good if he could get a fight with Danny Garcia or get a fight with Keith Thurman and be introduced to guys that have fought somewhere near the same level as Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, and Yordenis Ugas. But I'm excited for him. I've seen Custio Clayton fight a couple times. I don't think that there's going to be an issue with Errol Spence Jr. beating Custio Clayton. Custio Clayton is most definitely a good, solid fighter, but I don't think he's anywhere near the talent level of Jaron Ennis, and he should be able to get past that in style. Now, this, according to Keith Idec, he said that it is probable that they would wind up on that date. It's not nearly a done thing, to quote Keith Idec from Boxing Scene. So, it may wind up that, that does not happen. However, Jaron Ennis said that he believed that he was going to be in there, be back in the ring in April, in the April time, the late March, April time frame. So it jives pretty much with what Jaron Ennis had to say. So, maybe, the holdup in solidifying it could be whether or not Custio Clayton wants to take that fight or whether Custio Clayton wants to continue on high in the rankings. Because, Jaron Ennis is definitely somebody that people right now, if they're in a position to contend for a championship shot themselves, that they're not going to be in any type of real big hurry to get in the fight, to get in the ring with, because this guy has the ability to beat everybody in the welterweight division. And even his new most severe critic, Sean Porter, says the same thing. Sean Porter had come out and said that he believed that Jaron Ennis was overrated, and then he comes back and says, well, maybe, I might have phrased that the wrong way, but he maintains that it's unfair and too early for people to say that Errol Spence Jr. is going to mop Terrence Crawford, that he's going to mop that he's not going to mop Yordenis Ugas, he's going to mop Errol Spence Jr. Right? He thinks that is a little bit too far, but at the same time, he said that right now he has a chance to beat everybody in the top four, that he could beat Errol Spence, and that he could beat. Not saying he will. It's a distinction between will and can. That he could beat Errol Spence Jr. That he could beat Terrence Crawford, but he expected if he does that, to be a long, hard-fought 12-round battle and not some situation where he's just going to smoke the guy and get him out of there. But anyway, that's the news on Jaron Ennis. Hopefully that's true. Can get him in a position of getting a championship shot pretty soon, whether that's Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas, can't say. But, the dude is young, exciting, highly skilled fighter. And I say, hey, man, let's push on. If they think he's ready, the way that he looks, he looks ready. Let's make it happen. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.